2021. First up, we're going to have item 2021-182, update of the homeless service Guilford County continuum of care. And I'll turn this over to Dr. Palmer.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for, again, for the invitation to participate in the Community Development Committee meeting today. I do believe I have with me Heather Skeens, who serves as the lead collaborative applicant for the COC, and of course is also the Director of Health and Human Services for Guilford County. And I also have Partners Ending Homelessness on the call, Brian Hahn, who's the Executive Director, and PEH serves as the manager of the collaborative applicant work. I am going to have Heather give an update on the work that the county is doing in partnership with the COC as we continue this transition process with HUD. But what I will say before doing that, and then I'll let Brian just kind of chime in and add on as he sees fit. But what I did want to remind the committee of is that there are 2 task force groups that are working in unison with the COC committees and also the COC membership body, as well as the board of directors. Those 2 task force groups are the COVID-19 response task force, and that task force is a network of leaders and executive directors of organizations that have homeless shelters. And they are working together to continue to not only respond, but try to recover from COVID-19. The other task force is the Stronger Together task force. This is the task force that the City Council of the City of High Point, this is where you all supported us when the City of Greensboro communicated that they were working towards separating or splitting from the COC. Which leads me to the work of the county under Heather's leadership to continue this partnership and to collaborate. And I just want to share that we have made great strides. You know, the work is coming together. We are definitely working together. We do have, you know, some hurdles that we have encountered as we're continuing to try to work in particular with the City of Greensboro, but nonetheless, we are trying to partner and just move forward. So Heather, I'm going to just kind of pass it over to you.
Sure, thanks so much, Dr. Palmer, and appreciate being invited to this Community Development Committee. Sherry Neal, whom I believe I introduced at the last meeting, is our program manager that was selected to lead the county's progress and work in this area. She has been hard at work for the last 30 days meeting with community partners, spending a substantial amount of time with Partners Ending Homelessness to look at the ways in which our county can support the work in this area and to make sure that we are taking on the roles that we need to in order to help collaboration and success of this partnership. Sherry has been working on the website for the COC. Sherry and Brian have done a substantial amount of work around transitioning of the website over to Guilford County. She is also working on the 6 weeks program through Rethinking Homelessness in reference to the American Rescue Plan training intensive program, and the county is supporting that enrollment into that 6-week workshop, and she is in the process of communicating with our providers and other agencies to create a team to participate in that intensive 6-week training. Again, to facilitate and to move our community into a singular direction to benefit our homeless population. So a lot of work has been done in 30 days. She has hit the ground running. We will have our first meeting with HUD, our first TA with HUD in the next couple of weeks, with Sherry being on board. We've certainly had lots of great conversations with our TA from HUD, but this will be Sherry's first opportunity to meet with them to begin working on the strategic plan that is really in line with what the COC developed and in line with what the TA plan for HUD is. So with that, there's been lots of work in the last 30 days, but I will turn it over to Brian to add any additional comments.
Yeah, thank you, Heather. Like she said, Sherry has been a wonderful addition. I think she's already expanded our capacity of our work. She has the twofold challenge of the HUD technical housing specifics that she's mastering, but then also the relational, right? And so she's been doing that, going and visiting, Zooming. I've probably given her way too many meetings in her first 30 days, but she has been great and received it. And so we're thrilled to have her in this work with us. We literally just got off a call together about the website and trying to fine tune that on the county page. And so that our clients have easy access to resources, our providers, and then of course, community volunteers and supporters. So we're looking at how to make that as user-friendly as we can. I'll just highlight just two other things very briefly. Like Heather said, the HUD TA starts next week. That's a huge thing. I mean, they're giving us 3 TA professionals for a 6-month work plan to really develop the structure throughout our county to tackle this work. And I think the timing of that, like Heather's saying, is really good because not only with the new COC manager hire, all these public dollars and resources that are going to be coming into our community, we have HUD right there with us, helping us navigate that. And so I think that's huge. And then just the last thing I'll say, like Dr. Palmer was mentioning, the task force, not only the Stronger Together, but the COVID-19 response task force. I mean, again, I can't say this enough. This group's been meeting for nearly 14 months weekly. We've moved 1,150 folks safely into shelter and kept the COVID positive rate at about 6%. That's incredible. Now we're shifting our attention to not just responding to the crisis, but what does recovery look like? And so I say this all the time, I don't wish COVID upon anybody, but what I think it has done is it's helped us collaborate better, innovate. We're talking now about housing opportunities, getting folks, not just temporarily housed in shelter, but really in safe, affordable housing, service connected, workforce development. So there's some good energy. One of which is High Point. I mean, y'all have been great partners, and we're really appreciative of Nina and Michelle and of course Mike's support and the council support. So we think we're on the cusp of some great things here to come. So, okay, I'll stop there, but we'll take any questions you may have.
Are there any questions for the committee members?
No.
I'd like to thank you again to Dr. Palmer and Heather and Brian. Thank you all for the work that you continue to do for our citizens. Much needed work. It's not always upfront and flashy, but it is essential. So thank you again.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I mention one program real quick, because I will have to get off in a minute, but it's for the benefit of High Point.
Sure.
The county is doing a massive Feed the Community on May 22nd, which should be Saturday at the Russell Street DSS building. It'll be feeding 1,500, so 1,500 food boxes will be present there. And so we would love for you to get the word out. This is much more than the 500 that we've been doing every other week in High Point and Greensboro. We will do these 2 Feed the Community drives in High Point and 2 in Greensboro. But our first one in High Point is May 22nd. And it is a drive-through, but obviously people can walk up or bicycle up or however they need to go. But these are substantial food boxes with fresh vegetables and canned food. So I just want to mention that we'll be out there starting about 9 till probably about 1 o'clock on May 22nd. Thank you.
Yes, I think that is great news. Thank you so much, Heather.
Yes.
I guess we'll try to maybe even see if Jerron can maybe throw that on with the city's information output, and we'll definitely put it in our social stuff.
And we have some flyers I can send to the committee
Yep.
to help promote it.
That would be great. If you would, that'd be great.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you again. I kind of started the meeting out of order, so if you would allow me to correct that error, I was supposed to do a roll call. So in the room with me is Councilman Tyrone Johnson and Councilman Wesley Hudson, and I thought I saw Councilman Cyril Jefferson's name on the screen. Can you hear me, Councilman?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Chairman Williams, I'm here.
Awesome. And I am Chris Williams. So we are all in attendance, and I will start the roll for it. Sorry, I didn't mean to let you get comfortable again, Mike. Next up, we will get an update from Mike McNair on the CDBG CV funding.
Good afternoon, CD Committee. I've actually put both items in one presentation for smoother transition, so we're gonna have to pause. Just want to bring you up to speed on where we are. The entire 552,706 has been allocated out, and about 60% of those funds have been expended. And we have about 219,213 left to be expended, but contracts have been executed. On the second allocation, the CDBG CV3, we have 588,561 that is yet to be appropriated. We're planning to amend the action plan and start that process at the end of this month and come back to you next month with a presentation on what we propose to do with those funds. And then we would go to council on the 19th, and then on the 21st have that, if we're still doing that, having that recess meeting, and then move forward. Now also, you're familiar with and as much as we can be, the American Rescue Plan. A lot of unknowns in there, but we did get notification of a home allocation in the amount of $1,988,359. Those funds are to be used for affordable permanent housing for the homeless. The word they keep using is non-congregate, which means no shelters. So we'll be working through that. Also can be used for tenant-based rental assistance. This is, I always roll through this, but I just provide you the information as far as detail on each individual program project. If you want to look into that, I'm not going to dwell on it, but it's there for your perusal at your convenience. This last one kind of captures for each one graphically where everybody is. Open Door is still not spending a lot of money yet. We'll follow up on that. We think it has to do with the other CARES money that's out there, and we get competing dollars. But everybody else is moving along pretty well. So again, we've expended $333,492 as of the end of April. Any questions about that before I move on? Because I'm going to go directly into the VITA.
Any questions from committee members? No. Oh, you go right ahead, Mike.
Okay, I'm going to go a little more in depth in VITA than we have in the past. We kind of always just show you like one page and say, oh, that's VITA. But I wanted to give you some more detail on what VITA is really about and what they're doing and where it's going on, volunteer income tax assistance. They are practicing COVID preventative measures. So some of it is drive up and drop off. They're doing the PPEs and all that stuff, social distancing to keep everybody safe. They have a Monday through Saturday schedule at different places. You can see the different, Jamestown, Arca, High Point. GTCC, High Point. They all have different sites, but this is the breadth of the partnership, I guess you'd say. A lot of different people involved. This is, we have at different locations that are doing different things. So in some places they are doing in-person tax prep. Others are doing drive up and drop off. But those options are available for folks if they want to pursue one or the other. One of the drive up and drop offs is the bookmobile at the High Point Library. Then you can see the flow chart as to how they're doing drive up, intake interview, and do document scanning. And returns are prepared off site. This is over at Macedonia, where they do a drive up and drop off. This is over at the YWCA. The clients wait in their cars while their returns are prepared. So everybody's kind of approaching it differently to fit the needs of different customers. This shows you sort of a lifetime to date. Obviously, the last couple of years, the numbers are down because of COVID, but one of the things that we focus in on is the average AGI, which tells us that we're reaching the people that need it the most. So the average AGI is 17,016. And through, I guess that's 15 years, we've had almost $10 million in returns. So, and that's free. We estimated that, well, you can see, well, this year was 21,969. The average age was 58, 102 had dependents. So we're getting, and also want to highlight the fact that we have 1,300 volunteer hours. There's a lot of community support in this program. And then there were some changes with American Rescue Plan. They made some changes in how you did your taxes. You know, they omitted the first $10,000 in unemployment compensation, things like that that we had to take into account and make those adjustments. And I guess that's the end. Any questions for me regarding that? But I was just trying to give you a little more in depth on VITA, just so you kind of see some images where it's happening.
Thank you, Mike. Are there any questions to staff? Thank you, Mike. I appreciate the report, that information. Just one quick question on this, the CV funding. Can you remind me what you said about the latest? You said the latest amount that you got will be worked out through the. I'm sorry, hang on.
Are you talking about CBGC3?
Yeah.
The 588?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, we've been sitting on that, and I should have gone a little more depth. We've been kind of working, I think we've told you in the past, we've been working on doing a homeless day center type project. And so we're still working towards that direction to provide funding for repair and upfit of a site yet to be determined. But we don't have to have that site to kind of make that appropriation.
Gotcha.
But we're looking at, we're also looking at the possibility of combining some of that home funds in there for the permanent housing aspect of it. So you could have a 1-2 punch. You could have a day center, and then you can provide some non-congregate permanent housing.
Good.
You know, it could be, you know, tiny house village or something like that. You know, we're just still working through that.
Mr. Chairman, that was going to be what I was going to ask to share. Representative Manning has submitted the High Point Shelter and Day Center for the Homeless as one of her 10 projects to appropriations, and we are a partner in that request. That would be for up to $3 million in federal funds with another couple million locally as a match. So that local match could potentially come from the city and from our nonprofit partners. And as Mike indicated, we don't have to have a final location, but we have a couple sites that are under consideration.
Will you kind of update us on the progress of the short picking? Okay.
And Chairman, just real quick, is there anything that the COC can do to support that, that work?
I think letters of support, we already
For the person who made the comment.
got a letter of support so far, so
I didn't know if there was anything else that, I didn't realize that it was one of her projects. So that's something, I guess, that has transpired since the letter. So I just wanted to know if there's anything else that, that we can do or that you need for us to do or to be even more supportive than we have already been.
Hey, Chairman Williams, this is Councilman Jefferson. I'm gonna jump in just a tad bit on this. I appreciate Director McNair, Assistant Manager Ferguson, and Dr. Palmer, Brian, everyone who's been involved in some of these conversations around this. We should be hopefully, and I'm speaking just from the conversations being had, we should be hopefully over the next several weeks being able to have a better grasp on the organization effort behind a lot of this. A big part of it does have to do with, what we're earmarking and what Captain Manning has helped us to sort of pursue. And then another part of it has to do with how our community is going to wrap its arms around this. So there is a group of folks who have been looking at this. A lot of the data that Representative Manning used in her, I guess what you call proposal or application, the stuff that our group has been pulling together. And I expect in the next several weeks, based on the meetings I've been having here recently, I expect in the next several weeks that we'll be able to talk about this again, perhaps in time for the next community development committee meeting. I don't want to be too forward or make any presumptions just yet, but based on how things are tracking, I expect that that'll happen probably by then.
it is a competitive and political process, so not all 10 of her projects will certainly get funded by appropriations. High Point does have 2 submittals on the list. The other one is a connector greenway, so there's some variety of project types. But we got 2 out of the 10 that she submitted, which is a good representation.
Thank you, Greg. Then Mike, and I'll tag on to what Councilman Jefferson said. Thank you for your efforts. That's actually pretty good. That's really great news to hear.
Okay.
I will ask this, the potential of, and I know that, like I said before in the earlier council meeting, that there's a possibility of restrictions being lowered in the state from Raleigh. And if that happens, could we revisit the possibility of getting an operation in as much kind of looked at again, but potentially we can do there? I know it's tight.
You lost me. What restrictions that would apply to them are you talking about?
Well, they were talking about, I don't want to kind of speak out of turn, but from what I've heard was that he was looking to loosen the restrictions, COVID restrictions.
Oh, okay.
Around.
Yeah.
COVID restrictions, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're fingers crossed, we're looking at October.
Good deal.
We're hoping that we'll be able to resume in October and go back to twice a year. We'll just see what, how that comes out.
All right. Well, thank you. Is there anything else from any other committee members? Questions, comments? All right. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second, Councilman Jefferson.
Motion by Councilman Hudson, seconded by Councilman Jefferson. Is there anyone opposed to adjourning? Hearing none, I guess we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.